¿Qué onda, vatos locos? It's your boy Dave in the 702 coming back at you for Tailgate Talk NFL Week 18. Joining me always is my brother from the city of brotherly love. Why am I off today, Drew? Philly Irish Drew Evo, Fly Eagles, ¿Qué pasa, homie? What's cracking, Drew?
Chilling.
I'm shocked, man. It's NFL Week 18. This is it, dog. Y'all are shoe-in. The Eagles are a shoe-in. Lots to talk about on the Niners end and the Eagles end. You know, what's at stake this week? For some teams on Saturday, it looks like we're going to have a clear indicator of who's going to get that NFL NFC seed number one. A lot at stake. Saquon Barkley. Is he going to play or not, man? It looks like Sirianni don't want him to play to break this record. Just 5 yards? 101 yards? 101 yards away from breaking an NFL record. I don't think he's going to play. Lots to talk about. Let's get right into it. There's no Thursday night football, so shout out to everybody joining us in the chat who's going to be coming in. Don't forget to hit that like button as you come in. I'm all decked out, Drew. For what it's worth, the Niners on Monday night, we did the shoe shine. The Niners played a pretty damn good game, to be honest. Much better than expected. And I think they exposed a lot of weaknesses in what some people think the number one seed is going to be, the Detroit Lions and Jared Goff. Their defense ain't all that. They allowed the 49ers to get over 30 points on them. And today, to be honest, I went over to my favorite Vikings bar. Shout out to the Skull Nation. Shout out to the Blue Ox in Las Vegas. I went there to have lunch and meet with some friends. And let me tell you, man, the Vikings fans are excited. They're going to be having a huge party. That game looks like it's going to be this Saturday, right? We got 2 games this Saturday with major playoff playoff. They're playing for the number one seed, obviously, and then you've got the Bengals and Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think Joe Burrow's he's going to have to win this game. But they do have a chance at that last wild card spot. So I figure we might as well talk about that, and then we'll get into the Eagles. For you, Drew, a lot at stake. Obviously, I got to ask you right off the bat who you're rooting for, Vikings or Detroit Lions, because that determines the number one seed in the NFC and where the Vikings will ultimately most likely have to play to win an NFC championship.
Tell you the truth, I don't care because we'll beat them. Whoever it is, we'll beat them at their home field.
Remind me here, because you guys did beat the Lions. You beat you beat the Vikings this year, right?
No, we haven't played them.
You haven't played them. Okay.
Nope.
You beat the Lions already?
No, we haven't played them either.
Shit. And you're that confident you're going to go into Vikings territory and beat them in their backyard?
Yep.
All right, y'all heard it right here. Let's get to that first game, guys. Thanks a lot for everybody just joining us. We do Tailgate Talk every Thursday. Let's start off with Saturday. Cincinnati Bengals versus the Pittsburgh. Wait, do I got the right? Everything's all messed up here. Saturday. I'm missing a game here? No, I'm not. All right, let's start off with Saturday. Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow, he's got a 250 passing yards streak for 7 games with 2 touchdowns. He could be an MVP if it wasn't for that god-awful record of the Bengals. Just barely holding on to a shot at a wild card spot. Drew, the Pittsburgh Steelers are a hell of a team, but I'm looking at DraftKings right now, and the Bengals are favored by 2 points. I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to upset the Pittsburgh Steelers. DraftKings got them up. What do you think about this game?
Nah, I think the Steelers are going to win this. And, I look at it, and I can see all the losing streak and everything. They're giving up points. They're giving up yardage. I really think that this Pittsburgh breaks this losing streak and potentially wins the division. So
interesting. Bengals are at 8-8. Steelers 10-6. Drew, for the Bengals to squeak their way into that NFL wildcard spot, they have to hope that Denver also loses, and it looks like Miami's got to lose too. Denver is playing. Who's Denver playing?
Denver is playing. Let me see. Denver is playing the Chiefs.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like they're going to be playing Mahomes this weekend. Shout out to all the Chiefs fans out there. All right, so Drew, you and I are going to be in disagreement here on the very first game. I think the Bengals and Joe Burrow will win this game, but that everything else remains to be seen whether or not the other two teams are going to lose, and I would love to see them because I think Joe Burrow's had a fantastic season. I really enjoy watching Joe Burrow. A hell of a player. All right, that's Saturday, guys. So we got two major games on Saturday. I did have a little mix-up. Sorry about being mixed up here. Cleveland Browns versus the Baltimore Ravens with a ridiculous spread, Drew. DraftKings has it as Ravens being a 20-point favorite. Jameis Winston does not look to be playing this week. Other gambling sites have the Ravens up by a spread of 17 points. How bad will they beat the Cleveland Browns? That's the question. That's the thing. Do they cover such a massive spread?
No, I don't think they're going to they might cover the spread because they could still lock up the division. So, I'm picking the Ravens. I think it's a 10-point win though.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not too sure they're going to cover this 20-point spread on DraftKings. I know Jameis Winston will not be playing. Cleveland Browns, they're just bad. They're bad at scoring, but I don't know how hard Baltimore Ravens are going to want to play this Saturday. They already are going to be in the playoffs clearly. So, all right, that brings us to Sunday, January the 5th. Everybody's playing. There's no Thursday Night Football that I know of right now going on. So we're looking at the Saints versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers favored by 14 points. Another big spread. 2 TDs.
I look at it. Baker Mayfield has had a Pro Bowl snub, if you look at it, because Baker Mayfield had a career year this year. Career highs in touchdowns, passing yards. 39 touchdowns this year, passing touchdowns for Baker Mayfield, over 4,200 yards.
Yeah, I agree. Baker Mayfield had an incredible game. The record 9-7. I think they're absolutely going to win. Actually, I'm going to be in agreement here with DraftKings on this one. I think they do cover the spread this Sunday.
I think they win in blowout fashion.
All right, so on that one we agree. Saludos, everybody joining us. We're doing some football picks for this Saturday and Sunday, NFL Week 18. You can follow along if you're our DraftKings. Go hop on DraftKings and check out these odds with us. All right, moving along to Sunday, still at 10 a.m., Carolina Panthers versus the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons favored by 8 points.
You got to look at it like this. They both got to win, Tampa and Atlanta. But I think Atlanta has the tiebreaker, so I think Atlanta has the tiebreaker because I think they beat Tampa Bay twice. So if Atlanta wins, they'll win. Tampa Bay's out.
Yeah, that's crazy, but you're right about that. Buccaneers are in first place, but should the Buccaneers lose, which I don't think either of us think so, but if the Falcons also win, that really complicates things for Baker Mayfield, right? They're out. Excuse me, guys. Man, that sucks. That makes that game very interesting. Let's move along to 10 a.m. on Sunday. Philadelphia Eagles playing the god-awful New York Giants. Drew, why is the spread only 3 points? Is Jalen Hurts he was on concussion protocol. Is he still on concussion protocol? And even if he wasn't.
As of right now, he is. I think they're going to hold him for the playoffs. Saquon's not playing. I think they're holding out key starters and everything because they already clinched the number 2 seed.
Exactly. So, right. So, whatever happens, you guys have the number 2 seed. Even if you don't play your first string, and even if you guys were to lose,
I think they win regardless.
Yeah, you guys are favored, just not by a huge margin. I think you guys do win. Now, I've seen your third string quarterback because I'm a fan of Stanford football. That's where Christian McCaffrey came from. Is he going to get some snaps?
No, they're trying to start Kenny Pickett. I think you need to start Tanner McKee. Dude had 2 touchdown passes last week with 5 pass attempts.
Yeah, I saw that, man. I saw that game, and I do enjoy watching that guy who came out of the Stanford program when I was living in the Bay Area. So, Drew, I'll be looking forward to watching your game and all the implications. Congratulations to your team. Chicago Bears versus the Green Bay Packers. Packers favored by 10, another playoff team. How do you feel about this game, Drew? Do you think Jordan Love will play the whole game?
Well, they lost Jair Alexander, the best corner for the season. Unless they make the Super Bowl, then he'll come back and be able to play. I think they win the game because here's the playoff implications for that. Win, they're likely going to get the number 6 seed. Lose, you're the number 7 seed, and you got to go to the win. You avoid going to Philly. Lose, you have to go to Philly and play probably.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. Packers are comfortably the wild card number 3, coming in at 7th seed, just behind the Washington Commanders. So obviously they've got to win too, man. They want to keep their position here. So let's talk about this game right here. An AFC game, Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen is in the lead for MVP. But Josh Allen, he does have a streak he wants to keep alive, but it's looking like they're just going to want him. I've heard some pundits say that Josh Allen is going to play all but one snap just to keep that record going. That being said, DraftKings has Buffalo Bills ahead by just a 2.5-point margin against the New England Patriots. New England Patriots having some quarterback issues. I think even without Josh Allen, Drew, that they're going to cover the spread and then some. What about you?
I'm probably going to pick New England to win this game. Just because
Really?
the rest of their starters probably, they really don't really need to play. They clinched the number 2 seed in the AFC. I'm going New England.
Man, that's a shock, man. That's actually, let's see, 2.5-point favored for Buffalo. You would win some pretty good money, even on the money line on that one. All right, Washington Commanders, big surprise from the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels, one of my favorite quarterback rookies of the year, him and Bo Nix. We were debating that today at that Vikings bar that I went to today. Who is the rookie quarterback of the year for you? What do you think about Jaden Daniels?
He's probably going to be offensive rookie of the year. But like I look at it, I don't think he'll want to go to Philly for his first playoff game.
All right, remind me what happened, because he did squeak a win against you guys, right?
Yeah, but Bass, Jalen Hurts was illegally hit, and they didn't call it, and he got taken out of the game. Like, bad calls all over the fucking place. Like, they blitzed him too much. They blitzed Jalen Daniels too much. It all around was a fucking terrible fucking display. But credit to him, he got his team back into it and everything. But you're not gonna. It's a good thing too, because they come back here. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in 1 year, but they come here, they're getting blown the fuck out. and realize it was a fluke win. It was a fluke win and everything, but you know how it is. I think they're gonna wind up going to the NFC, to the winner of the Rams Seattle game, or they're gonna go to Tampa or Atlanta to play a playoff game. It's a much more favorable matchup for them than going to have to go to Philly.
Yeah, you would think that they'd have some confidence and still be because of those wins, like you said. But the Commanders are coming in 6th. I think they're going to easily beat the Cowboys this Sunday. That being said, let's move on to the next game. Houston Texans against Tennessee Titans. Why are the Titans favored by 1.5?
The AFC South is iffy now. Though Indianapolis is out, Anthony Richardson is likely not going to play again. It's just those AFC South games are in and out. Too close to call. They could be like the best teams 9-7 so far.
Yeah, Texans are 9-7. Are they not planning on playing C.J. Stroud?
I would apply them. You already clinched the division.
Yeah, you clinched the division, which is why I'm looking at this. Yeah, you're right. It's probably why they are favored. The Titans are favored. Anybody else think, even without the assist of their main quarterback, that they can win? That's crazy. All right. Houston Texans. I'm going to say that the Texans beat them, man. I think the Texans are going to beat the Titans even with their second string. That brings us to another sorry-ass team, Jacksonville Jaguars. They're in the lead for getting a top, first-round draft pick. Jacksonville Jaguars versus Indianapolis Colts. Colts favored by 5 points. This game really means nothing, Drew.
No, it doesn't. Like, what else? You're playing for pride? Like, Jacksonville, what are they going to do with their pick? Are they going to go defense, or are they going to, they ain't going to go for Shedeur Sanders because they got their quarterback. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yep. Shout out to my boy Fonzie619. He says the Lions versus Vikings is going to be like watching a playoff game. Fonzie, I'm not sure if you heard, but I went to go eat at this Viking sports bar that I love going to, the Blue Ox, and they told me that they're out of space. They've got reservations that it's going to be cracking at that bar here on at this game for Sunday, man. One of the best Vikings bar, I think, if not the only Vikings bar in Las Vegas, but they got great food. I swear, Drew, you got to try this. When you come to Vegas, I got to take you there, man. Best burgers and wings for real. All right, this brings us to Kansas City Chiefs versus Denver Broncos. 10.5-point favorites for Bo Nix and the Broncos against Mahomes, who will not be playing, right? They're going to be sitting out just about everybody. Like you said, they're first seed, guaranteed first seed, guaranteed division winners. Do the Broncos win?
I'm going to pick Kansas City with Carson Wentz starting.
That's right. Carson Wentz is starting. I'm on the fence on this one, man. I don't think Denver Bronco can cover the spread. I think they might win. I think they might win close, 3 or 7, but I don't think they cover by 11 points. I do think that Kansas City Chiefs is going to rest most of their starters, and I think Broncos have a good chance of pulling off this win, but not by 11. So I would bet the money line on that one. Let's look at the LA Chargers. LA Chargers squeaking into the playoff pictures against the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders, surprisingly, Drew, have won a couple of games towards the end, setting them back from getting that first-round draft, a quarterback that they desperately need right here in Las Vegas. They desperately need that. The Chargers are what? Are they barely in the playoffs?
No, they clinched the playoffs.
They clinched the spot. Raiders are not favored at all. Chargers favored by 4.5 points. Who wins this?
I'm going to go with the Raiders on this. I think the Chargers might rest their starters for this because, what are you going to do? Like, you're trying to improve your seating and everything. And I look at it and I'm like this, AFC South, AFC North, AFC South, AFC North, AFC East, unless they don't want to go to Buffalo. But I really think that if we look at it, they already probably clinched the number 6 seed. So they would not go to Buffalo, so they might just rest their starters.
All right, let me take a quick look on that AFC spot. They did clinch they clinched the number 5, and shout out to Fonzie619. He's a Chargers fan. Drew, they got a burger at the casino not too far from me, the M Resort in Las Vegas. They got a cheeseburger at the Raiders Bar and Grill. They got their own restaurant, the Raiders do at the M Resort, and it's the Max Crosby Colossal Burger, man. They got billboards alongside the freeway by my house. I have to go try that burger, man. I got to see what that burger is all about. He has his own fucking cheeseburger, Max Crosby. And by the way, if the Niners want to pick him up somehow next year, please. We need all that help, man. We need some defensive line help.
Yeah, he's going to make a video of him trying it.
Yeah, I will. I'm going to try that. I'm going to go get that burger for real, man. All right, moving ahead here to the Miami Dolphins versus the New York Jets. The Dolphins have to win, Drew. They're only favored by a point. Aaron Rodgers said this week that this could be, let's just be clear, man. This is your last game of your career, dog. Come on, Aaron. This is your last game. He's announced it. This could be the last game of my career. The Jets are not that much of an underdog, just 1 point, and it looks like Tua might not be able to play this weekend, and the Dolphins have to win. Well, we talked about earlier in the show about who needed who needs Somebody needs Miami to lose, and I think that's the Bengals. Bengals need the Dolphins to lose for them to eke into that last wild card spot in the AFC. Who do you think wins this game, man? Miami Dolphins or the Jets?
Dolphins.
All right, I see a shout out to Sin City Syndicate in here. I see him. I'd like to know what he thinks, Dolphins or the Jets. The Dolphins have to win. If they lose and the Bengals win, Joe Burrow can get himself in there, man. That's who I really want to see in that last spot in the AFC. All right, let's move on to the NFC West. Strangely enough, sometimes I don't understand this stuff, man, but the LA Rams have clinched their division. They've already clinched last week. The Seahawks are favored to win. LA Rams are going to be resting a lot of people. Seahawks are favored to win by 6.5 points, Drew. But yet, they'll end up with the same record. And I guess because
they're eliminated.
They're eliminated. Yeah, it don't matter if the Seahawks win. Yeah, they're eliminated. It don't matter if the Seahawks win. They'll end up the season with the exact same record, but the LA Rams have already clinched it. And that being said, Drew, I think the Seahawks take this game.
Yeah, they probably will out of pride.
All right, Sin City Syndicate has some suggestions. Only 4 teams you need to combine: Rams, Vikings, Chiefs, and Bills. All right, now, the NFC West was kind of the softest, weakest division, in my opinion, one of the weakest in the entire NFL this year. That brings us to my game. And shout out to all the Cardinals fans. Shout out to Derek Ware, D. Ware, and also Finney the Legend out there in Arizona. 49ers and the Cardinals, Drew. A lot of things for the 49ers to discuss over the offseason. That being the most important thing is the fact that Purdy is up to renegotiate his rookie quarterback contract, and how much will the Niners be willing to pay him. He did suffer a bit of an injury at the end of that game to that surgically repaired elbow. That's something that bothers me as a Niner fan. We've seen this with other quarterbacks. We've seen this with Jimmy G, who had some pretty serious injuries when he got his big contract. It's a concern for me. He's not going to be playing this weekend. Josh Dobbs is going to get the nod. I did see some really encouraging things, man. They put up a lot of points last week, Drew, on Monday. Not this week, right? Monday Night Football, we saw that. Niners put up a lot of points against the Lions. They played with a lot of heart. They got the respect of the coach. We beat them in the NFC playoffs last year. It was a hell of a game. I'm not too sure they win this game. Cardinals are favored by 4. They've fallen off a cliff. But, yeah, as much heart as the 49ers displayed last week, I don't think they win this game either, man. And it's sad that some people on Twitter predicted the Niners would end 6-10. And here we are. It looks like we're going to end exactly what? 6 and what? Shit. 6 wins? It's awful. Who do you got on this game, Drew?
Niners are going to lose.
Drew, I did see a lot of silver linings on Monday's game. Garendo, the running back, who's their third-string running back, as a rookie, he's had a good year. And Ricky Pearsall, the wide receiver who was shot in the chest, shot in downtown San Francisco, not only picked up a TD, but I think he was the rookie of the week. So shout out to all the Niner Gang. I appreciate you guys. And I hope that so many more Niner Gang people will follow us next season, next year, as we continue to build on this. Now, the NFL game of the week, man. Fonzie was talking about this is going to be a playoff game on Sunday, literally, for the first seed in the NFC. Minnesota Vikings versus Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions gave up a ton of points against the 49ers. A guy like me, who do I root for, Drew? On one hand, Jared Goff. He went to Marin Catholic High School. That's a fucking high school that my high school played against. We played football against them. They were literally in our conference, okay? Marin Catholic. He goes to Berkeley, also a team I root for. I always rooted for Cal and Stanford. He's a local kid from the Bay Area. On the other hand, you got Minnesota Vikings with the 49ers leftovers, who has turned into a fantastic quarterback. That being said, I got the Vikings. I got the Vikings winning this game and taking the first seed on Sunday. Detroit Lions favored by 2.5. Those of you listening, please put it in the chat. Who wins this game? Detroit Lions or the Vikings? Drew, take it away. What do you see happening?
I think the Vikings are going to win it, but here's the thing. I don't think the number one, whoever was the number one seed is going to make the NFC title game. I'm going to tell you that right now. I don't think whoever wins the number one seed is not going to make the NFC title game. I'm going to tell you this right now. Who's going to be in the NFC title game? It's probably going to be Eagles.
Drum roll.
And I'll tell you this right now. If Green Bay avoids going to Philly in the first game, they will make the NFC title game. It will be Philly and Green Bay. Now,
get the out of here.
If they
Green
don't
Bay?
avoid it, and the Commanders go to the Rams and win, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think if the Commanders go to the Rams Stadium and play them in the playoffs, I think the Commanders are gonna win. I wouldn't be surprised if the Commanders went to the Vikings and beat the Vikings in Minnesota, and then have to go to Philly for the NFC title game.
That's a wild ass prediction. Okay, let me follow this. Commanders go to the Vikings and beat them in their backyard, and then the Commanders go back to Philly for the NFC title game.
I look at it like this. It's gonna be the Eagles, or I'm gonna tell you this right now. It's gonna be the Eagles versus the Packers or Rams. And the Eagles beat that team in the NFC title game. And I think it's gonna be the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I don't think the Rams are going to get very far in the NFC playoffs. I want a big shout out to everybody here from Walk with Rhonda's family over here. Appreciate y'all joining. I know Rhonda's friend Miguelito is a big Packers fan, and I'm sure he would be ecstatic to hear that Drew thinks the Packers are going to do well in the NFC playoff picture. My gut feeling tells me it's going to be you and the Vikings in that NFC title game.
Nah, I think whoever wins that number one seed, that game is not gonna make the NFC title game. Oh, we could see the loser at that game make the NFC title game, and the winner is one and done.
Man. So do you have a clear AFC picture? While we're on the subject of the playoffs, and we're going to do an in-depth show next week, guys, on the AFC landscape and NFC playoff landscape. What are you predicting for the AFC?
I'm telling you this right now. I'm gonna go Pittsburgh and Buffalo. And I think Pittsburgh goes into Buffalo and beats them.
Really? Into Buffalo?
I don't think the Chiefs make the AFC title game.
We got Rhonda here saying shout out to the Chiefs, of course. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Mahomes is out. You know, he's resting up. He typically does extremely well in the playoffs. Obviously, he does extremely well in the Super Bowl. But the Bills have beat them this year. Bills get past the Chiefs in the playoffs again.
Bills and Chiefs won't play into the AFC title game.
Into the AFC title game, but you don't think they'll be in the playoff, the final game. It won't be those two.
I think Buffalo makes the AFC title game, but they're not going to win. I think Pittsburgh will have their weapons back by then. I think Pittsburgh's defense. I think Pittsburgh will have their key opponents back on defense, and I think that they'll win a shootout in the AFC title game against Buffalo. Because you got to realize like this: Buffalo's Achilles heel is their defense. Their defense gives up points. Their defense gives up yards. Out of all the defenses that Josh Allen been on the Bills for, this is by far the worst defense that Buffalo has had since Josh Allen started playing for the Bills.
Okay, well, like we were talking about earlier in the show, Josh Allen wins the entire AFC and gets to the Super Bowl. He's a shoo-in for the MVP of the year, right?
Huh?
He's a shoo-in, Josh Allen, if he gets to that AFC title game?
Well, as for MVP?
Yeah.
I think he's going to win the MVP anyway. I think, like, what if you look at it like this, Josh Allen, you could say, show you the reason why Buff is one of the main reasons why Buffalo is the main reason why Buffalo is the number 2 seed in the AFC.
Interesting.
You know, so it's probably going to win it.
Sin City Syndic says, we don't know the brackets yet to predict the AFC NFC championship games. We don't, but that's why next week, if you'd like to, I'm going to activate the phone lines and you could be our special guest next week. I'll activate that phone line. We could have Sin City Syndicate telling us how to lay down our bets next week. Really quickly, guys, I'm going to put back up the bet slip for this week. We'll run over these games. Drop it in the chat right now. Drop it in your comments. Who are you rooting for? What team are you rooting for? Who do you think is going to take the AFC title, and who do you think is going to win the NFC? Who are you two teams that you think will be in the Super Bowl Saturday? As mentioned here, Cleveland Browns, not a very good team against the Baltimore Ravens. A huge spread, 17 points on some sports, up to 20 points favored for the Baltimore Ravens. Drew and I both have the Ravens. I do not think the Ravens will cover the spread. Do you? Put it in the chat. Drew, we both picked the Ravens, right?
Yeah, we both picked the
you
Ravens.
Picked it. You picked them to win by 20?
Oh man, what's the line for that? No, I'm not talking about what is it minus what like you know.
DraftKings has them minus 20 favorites.
Yeah, but what's underneath it? Like minus like 102, minus one like 1,800 or something.
Ravens minus 2,800 on the money line.
All right, but what about on the spread?
On the spread is 20.
Yeah, but you know when you see the spread, there's a number underneath.
Oh yeah. Minus 108. We got a bunch of more games, Drew. Just go with it.
I don't know. Bet the one minus 108.
All right, there we go.
Okay.
Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow, 7 games, now approaching 8, 250 passing yards and 2 TDs. He's on a hot streak. They've got to win this game to keep their wild card playoff hopes against the Steelers, who Drew thinks the Steelers are going to go to the AFC Championship game. I got Cincinnati Bengals winning this game and covering the spread. Drew?
Nah, I think Pittsburgh wins this game.
All right. I'm going to see if I get your face more in here. Anyways, moving on. Carolina versus Atlanta. We both picked Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Commanders versus Dallas Cowboys. We both pick Washington Commanders. And Jaden Daniels is, one of my favorite. He's got wins over your team, Drew. He might be rookie quarterback of the year. Chicago Bears versus the Packers. Packers. All right. And there we have it. We're both for the Packers.
If anybody want to talk about a poor organization, it's the Bears. What a fucking horrible organization they're turning into, like trying to become a winner and everything. I thought they should have never drafted Caleb Williams because he sucked. He sucked in big games at USC. I don't give a fuck anybody fucking said. He fucking was a turnover fucking machine at USC and everything. So I'm just saying. Shout
out to Tiki Bob Sigmund. He says Ravens all the way. All right. Speaking of Jacksonville Jaguar. No, actually, no. Excuse me. Houston versus Tennessee Titans. The Titans are somehow favored. I got the Texans winning even with their B team.
Yeah, I'm probably. I don't know. I think the Titans can pull it off.
All right, Titans. They are favored by DraftKings. Moving right along, guys. We got Jacksonville versus Indianapolis Colts. I can care less about either of these teams. It's a toss-up game. Who cares about these teams? Colts favored by 5. Drew, do you agree?
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right, Kansas City Chiefs not favored this week. Denver Broncos favored by 10.5 points.
I'll take the Chiefs. Fuck it.
Wow, did you hear that? Chiefs fans in here. Drew's picking the Chiefs. I think that Bo Nix, who's another leading candidate for rookie quarterback of the year, he wins this game. I'm going to go with the money line. I don't think they'll cover the spread I don't think they're winning by 11 points. But I think they will win this game as Kansas City starters get some rest this week. Chargers versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Shout out to all my Chargers fans from San Diego, LA, wherever you're at. Drew, Chargers versus Raiders, easy win?
I'll go with the Raiders. I think they already clinched their spot. I think they already clinched the number 6 spot, probably. So, I'll fucking take the fucking Raiders to get a last-ditch effort win and send Antonio Pierce on his fucking way.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think the Seahawks are going to win, and they're going to end up tying the LA Rams' record. But since the LA Rams have already clinched the NFC West, well, who gives a shit? Seattle, I think, will win this game and end the season tied with the LA Rams record, but they don't get a wild card spot.
You go to fuck home, Seattle, and you enjoy your fucking stay.
Miami absolutely has to win. I still don't know if Tua is going to play. They have to win for that last wild card spot against the New York Jets, which will be Aaron Rodgers' last game ever. Goodbye, Aaron Rodgers. By the way, Aaron Rodgers also went to Cal Berkeley, and he is from Chico, California. I've always rooted for him. I know he's kind of a polarizing guy, Drew, but that's it. It's been a nice career, man. Who do you have winning this game?
Aaron, go fucking back to and fucking host Jeopardy.
San Francisco versus the Arizona Cardinals. If the Niners can pull off the unthinkable and finally win another game, they will tie Arizona Cardinals and both end their seasons at 7 wins and 10 losses. Did you know that Arizona calls himself the Bird Gang? Like, did they make that shit up after Niner Gang? Like we did Bang Bang Niner Gang? Because they call themselves the Bird Gang. Who came up with it first?
You, man. I don't know. And I'll be honest with you on some shit, man. That midget quarterback's going to win.
Fonzie says, the Niners are done. Too many injuries. Of course, the season is done, man. I already had, I've drank plenty. Let's
look at it like this.
Look at that. Look how much whiskey I drank over the Niners.
Have you watched, remember Home Improvement? And you see that neighbors in the backyard and you hide behind a fence. That sounds like fucking Kyle Marty with his offensive line trying to look over the offensive line for the ball. Howdy, neighbor.
Noah Garza says, "Go Lions!" A shout out to all the Lions fans. Like I said, usually I will be rooting for the Lions just because of their quarterback. He also, like I said earlier, he went to Marin Catholic. If you're in the Bay Area, you know that he played for Cal. He was Cal's, Cal Berkeley kid. Let's see the last game that we have not covered here on this bet slip here. Let's see, and it's the main game, man. Minnesota Vikings versus Detroit Sunday night. I just ate at the Vikings bar. I've got a video on my page. If you're new to my channel and you like Las Vegas content, I've reviewed the only Vikings bar in all of Las Vegas, and they absolutely serve some of the best sports bar food in the city. I love going there. Went today, had burgers, had wings, man. It was nice, man. Had some nice beer and shit. I love that Vikings bar. Go check them out. Blue Ox on my page. I've got a video food review about them. Vikings, Drew. I'm going with the Vikings.
Yeah, you damn right you got to go with the Vikings. You're the one that's got to go back in there.
I got to go back in there. All right, guys, put it in the chat. Who do you think wins this game for the number 1 NFC first seed, Vikings or the Detroit Lions? Either way, if the Vikings win, all roads lead through Minnesota. If Detroit wins, all roads lead through Detroit. Yeah.
Oh, no. Like, we got 42 people here with only 35 likes. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Yeah, if you can, guys, if you didn't, it's free, absolutely free, obviously. Just jab that like button at the top 3, those little 3 buttons, and hit us with a like before we go away for the week.
I don't know. I look at it like this and everything. Like, number one, you guys mainly come just to look at my beautiful face and everything, but that's another story to talk about another day. But I think the Vikings win this game, but I think whoever wins this game is going to be one and done in the playoffs.
Damn. They both have the same record. Whoever loses this game is going to be one and done?
Yeah, I think they're going to be one and done. I think you got to look at it like this. The Lions are at the lowest with injuries, but I think if they face a power, if somebody's going to go in there, and the Lions are going to have to win a shootout. If whoever, okay, here's the thing. I don't think the Lions are going to make it past the first round. I think they're going to be one and done, the Lions, regardless. I really think whoever, unless they play the Falcons. Now, if they go play the Falcons, I give Detroit a chance. I give Detroit a big advantage. But if they said Detroit has to go to Tampa, they have to win a shoot. They're gonna. Anybody in here thinks Detroit wins a shootout? And with their health issues. Because here's the thing. You stop Detroit twice, you win the game. If you can score and keep up with Detroit, if you stop them twice, you win the game. And you keep scoring. You got to keep scoring. If you can keep points on the board and stop Detroit twice, you'll win the game. You are 90% you're going to win the game. Now, Minnesota, they're healthy. Their defense is average. Sam Darnold isn't far off from interception because he's throwing picks. You can score, Minnesota. I'm like, if a great defensive team like the Philadelphia Eagles goes and plays them, Philly beats them. Let's look at it like this. The Eagles have won the last 5 meetings against Minnesota. And if you look at it, the last 5 meetings average is an average win.
Man, I love streaks. I love a good streak, Drew. You're making a good argument for the Eagles stepping into Vikings territory.
And I look at it like this. If Detroit is number 1, and let's say, do you think if a Commanders team or a Rams team goes into Detroit and be able to get 2 stops and keeps up with them to win a game? That's what we gotta look at. It's the same story. If you look at it with Minnesota, you make 2 stops and you make a stop. You make 2 stops and you keep scoring. You'll beat Minnesota also. Like, you gotta look at it. I ain't lost, man. I ain't lost. You gotta realize, man. Their defense. If they go in there and they play another offensive juggernaut, that offensive juggernaut will likely have, if they have an average defense or even better, the Lions are done.
Well, I mean, we could go back to Monday night, guys. The 49ers put up almost 30-something plus points against the Lions, and the Niners have been playing like shit all year. So that was quite impressive. Hey, I like this banter. I appreciate everybody that's new to the channel. 37 likes. We appreciate you. We will be doing a special playoff show next Thursday. I think we're going to invite some other sports channels on YouTube to join us, Drew, so we could have a nice full panel and maybe even open up that phone line next Thursday. It should be our best episode of the year. NFL Week 18.
I am going to say something. I do got to say something on that idea, Dave.
What's that?
Please do not blame Joe on here. Because
Joe.
Damn. I'm sorry. I like Joe, but I question a lot of his expertise because all he does is hate on the Eagles. He's just like
it might be a good show. It might be a good show. Packers are in the playoffs.
He's just like this one fucking dude from outside the box sports talk. He's a fucking not Joe. I'm not saying Joe. I'm not talking about Joe being a douchebag. I'm talking about that dude from outside of sports is a fucking douchebag. He fucking hates on Philly because he thinks Philadelphia people are the worst people on the planet. And he even said it. And I even told him in his own fucking group to go fuck himself.
That's hilarious.
And he tells me, and I told him, you're in South Jersey, I'm in Philly. How about I meet you halfway and kick your fucking bald head and kick your fucking bald head?
You hear that? No Philly haters on the panel next week. Come on. I appreciate.
Because here's the thing, man. If at least give me some good fucking arguments. I was on there when we beat you guys in the NFC title game, and you had one of his dumbass fucking people saying that, oh, they try to hook the quarterback on purpose. Wow, dude. I'm like, dude, are you that fucking retarded?
Oh shit.
That's what I don't like, man. Like at least come with some type of fucking knowledge instead of saying, oh, I think they really try to hurt the quarterback on the team. Oh my God. Do me a favor and don't be on a football show talking football with that shit. Stupid fucking bastard.
Fuck, now I got to reconsider who I'm inviting next week to the special show. Adrian, it's been a good one.
You know what? Because Joe might get mad because I'm talking about one of his friends.
Oh,
and I'm sorry. Joe, I love you, man, but I'm sorry. I don't like people that say they try to hurt somebody on there. And when you're trying to point out, when you're trying to talk sports with somebody, when you're trying to talk sports with viewers and everything, and somebody want to be on the panel and be stupid, oh, they try to hook the quarterback and everything. Oh my God. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? Come on, dude.
It might be just what this show needs is for Drew to go AWOL on us. We might need that. We need to shake shit up, man. Yeah, football styles make great fights. That's right. Since it is
I'll tell you the truth, Sin. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the Eagles are going to win it this year. I think if you look at it right now, this team is better than the 2017 team. This team is probably better than the team that made the Super Bowl against the Chiefs a couple years ago.
Are you better than the team that beat the Niners? You guys don't know that, are new to the channel, but Drew and I made a wager when the Eagles and Niners played for the NFC Championship. I lost. And Drew and I had a bet, man. We did a pie bet. And so it's out there, guys. If you want to find it on my channel, the pie bet episode, it's on here, man. One of us took a pie to the face.
Like, I'm telling you this right now. If I'm that team, God, I hope I don't play the Philadelphia Eagles. Because you want to know why? You wish that winning streak would have continued. Since that winning streak's over now, they were more pissed off and everything, man. And I really think, like, people are really doubting these Eagles, man. Like if you this is the worst time to go into the playoffs when you have so many injuries. And James, if the Lions are one and done, I want you to come back in here and I want you to do an emoji of you bowing. Because you're gonna be like this, Drew, you're right. You're right. You are God and everything. And then you can be crying for the rest of the night and enjoy the show. But I'm going to say this right now. Who the fuck are you planning on having next week on here, Dave, anyway?
I'll talk to you in private about that. That being said, guys, next Monday, the Shoe Shine is back. Monday night, if you love boxing content, Las Vegas is going to start the boxing season red hot. We got some great, exciting matches at the end of January. Then you have the big David Benavidez, David Morrell. We're going to get to some boxing talk on Monday. Thursday of next week, we'll do some football content. And I should have a brand new video, if you like Las Vegas content, for next Friday. Everybody, I hope you've had a great New Year's and that you meet all your goals. Drew, do you have a New Year's resolution?
Yeah, to tell the least amount of people on here to go fuck themselves.
But not a bad one. We'll see how long that one lasts. I'm Dave in the 702 Philly Irish Drew Evo. Until next Monday, we're out. Peace.